Okay, it is the 12th of April, and it's about 6:40 p.m. It's been raining for all the weekend. Today is Monday, and it's been raining for almost 3 days. But the storm front has moved through now, and it's a very nice evening. So I decide to try out the new firmware that I loaded onto my drone and also onto the controller. I'm flying right now about 3 times. I mean, the visuals are about 3 times the actual speed because I wanted to get through the boring fields here. You can see that nothing has been worked yet. The ground has been too wet. The only thing that's coming up is winter wheat, and we'll see some of that when we get to the barn that's sort of in the middle of the middle top, that gray thing. That's Mallow Farm. It's the extremis of Asbury Road, and they have winter wheat. So let's take a look at it. Now, something happens with this video that I'll explain when we get there that scared me. I thought I was going to end up losing the drone. I've lost 2 of them before. Here's Mallow's farm, and you can see there are fields of winter wheat. The only thing that's green in a field right now, at least nice and smooth green, is winter wheat. Nothing else has been planted. The fields haven't even been prepared. Winter wheat is usually planted in October or November after a previous crop has come out. It's good for restoring the soil, and then you have another crop. So you have 2 crops that year. You have wheat and whatever you grew in the summertime. So here's Mallow's Red Barn. They sell Carhartt coats and other things made by the Carhartt Corporation. I can still see to steer and to control the camera angle, which I do right there, bringing it down. And what I'm going to do, they have a nice little pond there on the left, a fishing pond. Maybe they even go swimming in it. I don't know. I'm flying at about 300 feet right now. I like to fly about that high when I'm this far. I'm about a mile away from the farm right now. I'm going to the creek. I'm going to fly up to the dipping creek and skinny dipping area in the creek, and then I'm going to come home. And I'm thinking like, yeah, and I'll be able to control this the whole time. It did not turn out that way. At this point, I was more worried by the possibility of the sun being reflected in the creek, in which case the drone will interpret that as an obstacle and it'll just stop because it's got obstacle avoidance. But it didn't get a reflection of the sun, fortunately. I think the sun was too low for that. What it got was, or maybe, I don't know, maybe too high, I don't know. But anyway, we're going upstream toward the skinny dipping area, and I was still able to control the drone by sight. This whole time I'm steering and I'm flying by sight because I can see the image you're seeing right now. I can see in the controller, even though I'm a mile away. So what happens here is I think like, okay, we'll just take a little look at the skinny dipping creek, go a little bit higher, get more of it in, and right about this point I lose the controller image, and it's all gone gray, and it tells me, you know, there is no connection with the controller. Well, that's not entirely true, okay? But there was the software interpreted as a break with the controller for 10 seconds. So if there's any break with the controller for 10 seconds, it is programmed automatically to return home, which is what it just did. I did not tell it to come home. And I cannot see anything. I cannot see the angle that the camera is pointing. I have no idea where the drone is, except I can see the figures on the controller, and I can see that the distance is going down, distance is going down. So I know it's coming home. Okay. Now, at about this point, I realized that. So I think, well, maybe I can control it. Maybe I just by watching the distance and watching the altitude, I'm still at about 400 feet here. Okay. And that was playing with the angle of the camera, and I couldn't see anything. So anyway, I can see that it's coming home because the figures are going down, the distance figures are going down. I know that I'm at about 300 feet now, and there's the farm. Now that flight back was at about 3 times or 4 times, I can't remember, normal speed. Now we are at normal speed again. I have, in the editing, I have brought it back to normal speed, and I can actually see the drone, and you can see me. Okay, so I know that I'm safe. I know that I have control of the drone. I can steer it. I cannot see anything in the controller, but at least I know that I can get it home safely. So what I do is I wait for a few cars to go by, and I always land backwards. Always land backwards. And so I bring her down and bring her across the street. I guess out here they don't call it a street, they call it a road. So I wait for a couple cars, and then I bring it across the road. That's the mailbox. And I land it. And I lived to tell the tale. So when I got home and I produced this video, I realized that my cell phone that I'm using is about 25%, and I wonder if that's the problem. The cell phone wasn't charged enough.